Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, a big name could be leaving AEW soon.
Will Ospreay retires a move after a match of the year with Bryan Danielson.
Tony Storm takes a little shot at WWE.
And surprise, surprise, AEW fans reject Chris Jericho. I'm Adam Wilborg.
I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
Before we dive into this one, I did hop in the studio super early today and record a quick what went down for AEW Dynasty pay-per-view that went down last night.
I only woke up half an hour ago. Good work.
There you go. Spoiler alert. It was a great show. If you want to check out my thoughts on it, you can watch that video there. Ospreay, Danielson, Swerve, Jack Perry, all that stuff's there. That's why we're not talking about it so much here.
Yeah.
What we are talking about, first of all, is Jeff Hardy.
Oh, good.
Relevant to Dynasty, I guess.
Yes.
His AEW contract is up much sooner than expected, according to Fightful Select. So when he signed with AEW, in the first place, it was reported that his deal had been set up to kind of align with Matt's, with his brother. However, this is no longer the case, but there's not a big gap between the two. Now, Matt Hardy has since left AEW technically. He's a free agent. He's not on the roster on the website anymore. And he showed up in TNA at the weekend.
Yeah.
But that is believed to just be like a per appearance kind of thing. I don't think he signed there, is what he said on Twitter. At the very least, he is still a free agent. He's reiterated that. His AEW deal expired in March, but it was extended a little bit beyond WrestleMania. Now, it was originally believed that AEW had extended Jeff Hardy's deal into 2025 due to him being injured and the other reason he was off TV for quite a while. As of late March, that wasn't the case, however. Hardy's deal is now set to expire, as in late March, that I should say. At that point, his deal was set to expire sometime in the spring, and this is based on what Jeff has told people and told other talent in AEW. He said that. AEW may end up extending the deal for those aforementioned reasons, presumably the injuries, obviously the DUI arrest and all the stuff he's gone through legally. Independent contractors, that's in the contract. I personally don't agree with it, but it's how wrestling operates. So Matt appears for now to not be in AEW. Who knows if he'll come back. What are you doing with Jeff Hardy?
I think I do whatever Matt's doing, basically. I think, they're reaching towards the end of their careers. I think everyone just loves the Hardy Boys stuff for nostalgia reasons. One of the reasons why I was saying probably give Matt Hardy another year in AEW, because I thought Jeff was not going to be stuck there, but was going to be held there for another year because of these potential contract extensions. But it's going to be very interesting to see where they both end up. Will WWE bring them back in? Will Impact get them on proper deals? Like you say, great reaction to Matt Hardy showing up over the weekend.
Broken as well.
Indeed. But yeah, and I just think it's nice, They're finishing up their careers. You feel like they're going to retire, and I'd like them to possibly retire together because it's just a lovely moment for them. And whatever you think of their work now, an incredible decades-long careers for both of them.
Yeah, definitely. If I'm Tony Khan, I would probably just go, Jeff, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
If he wants to just go and work with his brother in random places all over the spot, or maybe go to WWE or whatever, I'd just let him do that. I'd probably make an offer. Like, how much does Tony and AEW value? Because they've offered Matt a deal.
Yeah.
How much does he value the Hardys? I'd make an offer that's fair with that. But I'd also say, look, if you want to go and just work with your brother, no hard feelings.
Yes,
see you
exactly.
Later. It would just be the nicer thing to do. I think that maybe they do want to go back to AEW. Maybe they're just waiting for a better offer. Who the heck knows? We'll see what pans out. But checkered AEW run for both of them for myriad reasons. Jeff obviously had the legal issues. Matt creatively, not the most acclaimed run of his career. I think
not
it's
smart
fair
to go on their podcast and moan about stuff either.
Yeah, that probably hasn't stood them well in the company. They've not been shy of hiding their creative frustrations. But hey, I'd rather listen to them than a guy responsible for putting WCW out of business.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
Hey, look, podcasts are not created equally, I guess, or Jim Cornette. But yeah, there you go. That's the Hardys.
And the What Culture Wrestling podcast, we'll be talking about AEW Dynasty a little bit later on today. Myself, Cedric and Hamlet.
Let us know as well what you think of the Hardys, where you want to see them go, what you want to see them do. Comment section.
Speaking of AEW Dynasty or Dynasty, we say it good different here in good old Blighty. There was quite a good match on there. Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay was good. Filled a good few minutes, that match.
Yeah, it was okay, wasn't it?
Everyone obviously talking about that today, and everyone talking about Bryan Danielson. A little bit of reassuring news to start this one off. The spot where Bryan Danielson was spasming in the ring after eating a Tiger Driver, that was planned. That, according to Fightful Select, coming through with a report on this one. But following up from that, after the match, in the post-match press conference, Will Ospreay has announced he is retiring the Tiger Driver, the Storm Driver 91, because, of what he did to Bryan Danielson. I'll just read what he said here. I'm super glad that everybody enjoyed the match. A little bit of a damp note on how it's all kind of, the dust has settled now. I've reviewed the footage myself. It seems Bryan got hurt on the Storm Driver, Tiger Driver 91, and I didn't see the doctor call. Because he hit him with a hidden blade afterwards. Yeah. The referee called for the doctor and I didn't see it, so I want to apologise for that. So even though like 90% of the time that move's been absolutely fine, seeing the damage that it's done, I'm going to retire the Storm Driver 91. I don't think it's right for me to continue using it after seeing what he did to Bryan, someone that I've got huge amounts of respect for. He continued. So once again, I apologise to Bryan, I apologise to AEW Medics, I apologise to Tony. Sorry, it's proper effing with me, mate, except he didn't say effing, he said a word that I'm not going to say because it's just going to make more work for our editors. If you're going to retire it after that match.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are proper workers, aren't they? This is entirely a work, in my opinion.
They showed footage of Ospreay helping Danielson through to the back, which you said they probably wouldn't do if he was shooting.
Yeah, exactly. Like, medics wouldn't let Ospreay anywhere near him. Because he's not a medic and he doesn't know how to carry people and stuff. Yeah, you've just
done a massively long match. You feel qualified to carry this man to the back.
And also, he hit the move that he was selling, like he'd been seriously hurt. And then he hit the blooming hidden blade.
I'd like to think that Bryce Remsburg would go, no.
No more moves, please, Chief. He's injured. No, it's clearly a work, but it's a really, really good one. Danielson, my goodness, the selling throughout this whole thing. It's like he's done this before. Like he's done the mock seizures, I guess.
Yeah.
On the ground and stuff. And not everyone likes it. Personally, if it works people, I'm into it.
I'm not a huge fan of the regularity with which he does it, but in this scenario, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. He's the best. I think I'm just going to stop pussyfooting around this argument, this conversation now, right? He's the best wrestler of all time, in my opinion. Everyone has their different picks, but I think last night probably cemented it. What a miraculous piece of work it was from start to finish. And this work, fake injury, selling, all of this, you're going to retire a move just to get this little plot point over. Yeah. It's great stuff. These guys are geniuses. They really are, in terms of wrestling.
What did he say on Collision? He wants to be bleeding in heaven or something like that.
Yeah, I want to know. Yeah, it was great.
Came pretty bloody close last night, but we'll talk a little bit more about the match when we get to the Twitter questions. But like I say, if you're going to say, right, that's it for the move, do it after you beat Bryan Danielson with it.
Not a bad way to send a move away into the next world. Right, what am I talking about? I'm talking about Toni Storm. She's done it again. Actually, has she ever taken a little pot shot? I can't remember.
I can't think of many instances, and considering the way they handled her, the old regime this is, I think she's more within her rights than most.
Yeah, I've just put this in because one, I think it's funny, and two, it's going to get people going. Right, during the press conference, Toni Storm, who's always really funny in these things, we just went over to Tony Khan, who was sitting beside her, and said, I'm not going to do her voice. Anthony.
No one else can.
No one can. Short one tonight, boys. Anthony, I promise you, no matter how many matches I win, no matter how many stories I finish, I'll never call you into the ring to celebrate with me.
Hey.
Referencing, of course, the thing that Triple H hates to do.
Oh, he was forced down that ramp at WrestleMania. He had to be shoved down there. Yeah. He definitely wasn't halfway down before Cody had finished his sentence.
Coming down the ring to celebrate with Cody Rhodes. And of course, since then, Triple H has done an in-ring promo on almost every show, but he hates to be out there, guys. Look, this is just fun. This is totally harmless. And at the same time, I know a lot of people don't like AEW firing these little things. But one, not only is it totally harmless, but two, lest we forget that Triple H chose to make part of the media build-up to WrestleMania the biggest event of the year about taking a shot at Will Ospreay in AEW. They're entitled to it, and Toni Storm had to have a pie in her face and all that stuff. So
look, here's the thing. There's been a lot of tribalism for many years now, but particularly in the last couple of weeks. let's not kick it all off again. This is just a bit of fun. Like, I like both sides of this. I like that Cody had his fantastic moment at WrestleMania and he wanted to celebrate with all the people that brought him in. And Triple H obviously was a very influential man with that, and they can have a nice moment. And if Cody wanted to celebrate with Triple H or Bruce Pritchard or whoever, that's absolutely fine. It's also fine to make light of it with this character. You don't have to, right, that's it, back on X, time to fight the good fight again. You can just be like,
This is it. You can pick it. That's the beauty of pro wrestling. You can pick and choose what you don't like, right? You watch, just don't watch the things you don't like. Yeah. It's really simple. Like, you have a choice we don't have a choice. We got to watch everything. But you have a choice as a consumer. If something annoys you, just don't watch it. It's fine. You don't have to make like your personality revolve around not liking things.
Yeah, and you don't have to argue about stuff on social media. You can go, not really a huge fan of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Dream matches, they suck. Yeah, don't they?
People can have. People can have their opinions, and that doesn't affect your opinion.
Yeah. Get out your ass.
But one thing, Andy, we can all agree on is Chris Jericho needs to go away. Look, I think all I've seen on social media, I've just said don't listen to social media, but all I've seen on social media this morning is obviously huge amounts of praise for Ospreay and Danielson and Swerve winning the world title, etc., etc. Lots of praise for Dynasty. The one thing everyone agrees on is, if only didn't have Jericho on this show. And it was received by an excellent group of fans. St. Louis, Missouri, is that right? That's where they were last night. Great crowd, I have to say, for Dynasty. But the one thing they were not a fan of, that they were, I suppose, not necessarily supposed to be a fan of, but weren't like, like Jack Perry got boos and a reaction for obvious reasons. This was them just straight up rejecting what was going on, because I should say Chris Jericho beat Hook for the FTW title. He hit him in the face with a baseball bat to win it. And there were chants of "Go home, Jericho, go home," and "Please retire" during the Hook match.
Please retire. It's brutal.
It's not a good look, is it, Andy?
Yeah. It's not great. It's not great. The Jericho Vortex. He's at least moderately self-aware with this stuff. Like, he registered the Jericho Vortex as a trademark. But for years and years and years for me, the Chris Jericho thing was you can never write him off because he's just going to reinvent himself. Like, just when he gets to the end of his, like, popularity cycle, I guess. Like, I remember, like, Rooty Tooty Booty and stuff in WWE. And, like, when characters run out of steam, he used to be really great at just coming up with something new.
He'd often do it before you were ready for it to be over.
100%. Like, The List in WWE and Le Champion in AEW, and then he's pivoted to like the Jericho Appreciation Society for a while, was really quite self-aware. Now it's quite difficult to make that argument because he's been stuck doing these feuds with hotter wrestlers in terms of popularity who enter the Jericho feud and they leave the Vortex less than when they entered. It's really just grinding people down at this point. This is further evidence of that. You would hope that he would now pivot and go full heel with it. It's probably the only way.
I did see someone pitch a gimmick where he calls himself the workaholic and threatens to never go away, basically.
God, no.
Like you say, he is aware of all this, but he just seems to be ploughing on regardless, like you say, and just sort of saying, oh, no, it's the Jericho Vortex is kind of part of my character. Whereas, like, how many times have we sat here and said, oh, it's a shame that so-and-so's got an injury, but on the brighter side, if we can take anything good from this, they're going to go away, and then people are going to be like, God, I can't wait to see this person back again. And I don't mean going away for 3 weeks with also pre-taped stuff that's still going to go out on the show because you're doing a bloody Fozzy tour or something.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you could just take, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months away, come back with something fresh, new and exciting. Maybe during that time, he could take up a full-time job, like managing his wife's Twitter account or something like that.
Who is it that does the Freddie Mercury gimmick?
Oh, Emi Sakura, yeah.
Just team up with her ahead of Wembley if you're going to do another one of those bloody stupid... Oh! I was like, what is this?
He wasn't great.
You were in attendance for that. What was that like?
Look, I've enjoyed Chris Jericho a great deal throughout my career. I think
the list is genius. I love
100%. I loved Le Champion. The past year has been rough.
The bubbly was so over in the What Culture office.
It was incredible.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, the past year's been rough, so a little bit of a break would be good.
How can I miss you if you won't go away?
I want Taz to choke his ass out. That's what I want.
Yeah, that was the only pop towards the end of that match when Taz stood up and they were like, oh no, it's finished.
Yeah. Yeah. Curses.
Very intrigued to see what happens next with Hook.
Yeah.
So how long has he got left on that contract of his, allegedly?
It's interesting to think of.
We'll keep you posted. Anyway, let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCultureWWE, of course, on X. If you want to get in touch with us, first question today comes from Alabama Slim. Only one place to start here, Andy. Going off the heels of Dynasty, where does Danielson versus Ospreay rank in all-time matches?
I immediately went 5 stars on it personally, and I only do that like once or twice a year. Because I think that the rating should be prestigious. I think that it should be preserved and protected, and I don't agree with Big Papa Dave going like 6 stars every week.
What do you reckon he goes for this one?
Like 6.5.
6,
something
yeah,
like
I
that.
was going to say 6.5.
Yeah, like he's. It's wild that people talk about Dave being too negative these days because he's never been more generous with his ratings, and I think it's generally
unless it's a women's match.
Yeah, he's quite harsh with those. I think generally it's a bit silly to get wound up by them, so I don't want to give that impression. I'm just making a point. I don't think it's like one of the 10 best wrestling matches ever, but I think it is. I certainly think, okay, so the closest thing in terms of feel to me was the Kenny Omega match at Grand Slam.
Yes.
I know they started the same way, right? With the reaction and both wrestlers going, holy crap, this is over. I think it was better than that by a few degrees. Yeah. I would rank it right up there with the best matches of either man's career. I can't really sit here and name like 10 matches I think are better. Top 25.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's all subjective, isn't it? Like, some people will sit here and be furious that we haven't immediately ranked it at number 1. Some people will be aghast that we've even compared it to some of the greatest ever wrestling matches ever. And there's recency bias as well. But you know what? Like, after the rough time that AEW's been through recently, I'm just glad that they're getting quite rightly the praise they deserve for this match, those two, because they really, as we mentioned, put it all out there. They put a brilliant match on. I'm looking forward to watching it back and, really just appreciating it properly when it's not 4 a.m. in the morning here in the UK.
Yeah, 100%. You've just got to factor in everything that's ever happened, right?
Yes.
Which makes it difficult. You got to think about, start from today, you've got to think about all the current AEW matches of the past 5 years. The WWE matches since stuff started getting really great again. All Japan in the 90s and the 80s. New Japan, not so much in the past year or so, but whenever Ospreay was in there, sure. Flair Steamboat.
Yes.
Flair Funk. All of
one final beat, it's all
all the classics. Ryback versus everyone.
Kalisto.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, he saved his life in that match.
He did.
Really good.
Yeah.
That's genuinely good. There you go. I've complimented Ryback. Gee whiz.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's just, I thought it was really. I think what I liked the most, not the most about it, but what I liked about it is everyone went into it with such high expectations.
Yeah.
People would have gone in with knives out for any potential, like, oh, that's rubbish because they messed this up or whatever. They hit everything, and they more than exceeded expectations. Like I said, that were just so astronomical. So congratulations to both of them. And AEW, you're welcome for giving you Will Ospreay from WCPW, of course.
You're welcome for the house.
Angela Dawn pitched me and Ospreay next.
I
gave him an extra star. Bam Garrido says, good morning, lads. Morning, Bam. With the scapegoat back in AEW, how do you think this will play out, especially with FTR? P.S. Shout out to the Eel.
The Eel. No, don't shout this prick out. He's an asshole. He couldn't get to Philadelphia. Got detained in customs, little asshole. Sorry, what was the question?
What happens now with the scapegoat? With Jack Perry being back in AEW, and does the FTR factor into all this?
Yeah, perhaps they're obviously buddies with CM Punk, so that could be a thread for the storyline. I think he's going to be really over as a heel, at least for a while. I think they're going to team him up with the Bucks, obviously, because they're friends before all this. They're going to lean into it, and they're going to try and make the most of it. Jack Perry, I didn't like the first heel run. He was like, I'm banging the baddest in the building. It's rubbish. This is much more believable, much more convincing. I'm glad they've leaned into it. I'm glad they're taking the piss a little bit. They've just got to make sure that the creative marries up, otherwise people will get sick of it.
What a brilliant stable of complete bellends in kayfabe, but also brilliant wrestlers. Jack Perry, Young Bucks, Kazuchika Okada. Who had a great match with Pac, by the way.
Yeah, there's lots of really great stuff on Dynasty. Swerve winning the first Black AEW champion, sensational. That was a really good match as well. Samoa Joe knows exactly how to wrestle. Like Samoa Joe at this stage in his career, which is deep into it, and Swerve's just a phenom. I'm really glad they belted him.
Yeah, I'm happy Jack Perry's back, because I didn't want him to be completely tainted with everything that happened with the backstage fight, because he's a young wrestler, and yeah, he's going to be launched into the stratosphere with the books with him and being alive with this storyline.
Yeah, made some dumb choices.
Yes.
Dying Cold Jack, but I'm hopeful for this run.
Indeed. Now let's move on from all that, shall we? Good luck, everyone, with that ever happening. Reese Dixon gives us our final question today. Cheers for the question, Reese. Hi guys, with all the talk about Def Rebel recently, who would be your fantasy pick to make wrestling themes? Mine would be Mick Gordon, says Reese.
Oh, the Doom guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he fell out with the other Doom guys as well. So that's a really good shout. Although, like, you go from generic trap beats with catchphrases at the start to just it'd be great. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if I've got a better choice than Mick Gordon, to be honest. Downstate.
I was going to say Goldie Looking Shane. Big fan of them growing up. I think they're very creative.
Yeah.
And can't be worse than Def Rebel. Shoosh! Here's Chad Gable. We've been enjoying the knockoff Def Rebel.
I will say, I do feel a bit sorry for them.
Yeah.
There was a day last week where the whole internet just buried them, and it was like...
I mean, it was one of those ones where you're like, oh, that's a bit harsh. But then when people put out, like, the new Naomi theme, the new Bailey theme, all of them, and you're like, oh yeah, they all either say their name or say their catchphrase, and then it kicks in JC Jane, all those people. It did come across as like, oh, when you just like get exposed for, I don't know, cheating on your homework or whatever, people are like, wait a second, they've been doing this for bloody ages. The correct answer is just Jim Johnson.
Yes, it is.
Just get him back, because he was the GOAT.
Pay him some money, man.
Just do it.
Pay him some money.
Or, just if you're WWE, this is, you've got, as you often say, more money than God. Just pay for wrestlers to have awesome themes.
Get Action Bronson to do a bunch of themes. Like, he mentions wrestling in every other song.
Yeah.
Why the hell not? Let's go.
But or just go mental and be like, great news everyone, and we've got a new person creating our music. It's Pharrell Williams. What?
Pardon?
But let us know your picks in the comment section below. Chat about everything we've discussed. Be nice, everyone.
Yeah.
And while you're at it, why not check out, boom, this video right here.
It's about the WWE Draft, which is starting on Friday.
Ooh.
So you want to watch that? Yep.
Bye.